math thing isn't the problem. Night shift's keeping you and Kevin apart. You two just need a bone.
What did you say?
Don't say it again.
I said you two need a bone.
How dare you, Detective Diaz? I am your superior officer! Bone! What happens in my bedroom, Detective, is none of your business. Bone! Don't ever speak to me like that again.
Why did you do that?
Dude was pent up. Now he knows. Problem solved.
Professor.
No need, Santiago. It's all good.
So the fight with Kevin is over?
Yep.
Because you understand the math now?
Nope.
Because you guys
Yep.
knew it.
I'm gonna miss him so
Hello,
much.
everyone. Welcome to the Next Issue podcast. Yeah, I wanted to start with something to remember Andrew Braugher. Now, funny enough, hello there. A lot of people really only know Andrew Braugher's work from maybe Brooklyn Nine-Nine and some of the more recent stuff, but he's been very prolific for a long time. Like when I was doing my House rewatch, he was a recurring character for a little while.
I didn't know
Law
that.
and Order Special Victims Unit as well. He was a recurring character that would come back as a lawyer. He was in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
He was the general, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
I was just kind of going through his IMDb, so like, yeah.
Oh,
great.
you got to check out Men of a Certain Age. It was only on for a short period of time. I think it was TBS or FX show, where he was pretty much like a Gen X type dad. Him and Ray Romano and Scott Bakula
It sounds
were all kind of
familiar.
going through it.
Yeah, I remember. If I didn't watch the show, I definitely remember at least the commercials in between Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, he's really good in it. You have like three dudes who are going through different things in their life, and Brower's the family guy. So he's just suburban dad, and all of the dads have hit a point in their life they're going, is this it?
Yeah. So, all right. On today's show, we're going to be talking about some last minute Hail Marys for 2023. What is some media that, I guess there's two things we can talk about, but I wanted to focus on, there's obviously stuff that hasn't come out that will come out in the next couple of weeks that we're excited for. But this is more about what are some things that are already out there that came out this year that you haven't gotten around to, but you should. Like it's on your short list, especially as we try to put together like a best of 2023 type of list. So we'll get into that in the second half of the show after our normal segment. Also, if you're watching this, we have a survey live. It's posted on our Twitter. I'll post it on the description of this video and on the community page on YouTube. So we made a little survey. We want to hear from everyone that watches this show, and our friends will share it around. Like, it's a list of like 15 things that just asking about the best stuff of 2023, different categories and stuff like that, and then we'll get to that. Yes, Clay?
Why are our names gone?
Oh, you have no name anymore.
I wonder why you see more of my face. I was horrified.
You've lost privileges.
We will have to make a segment where we break down why Daniel hasn't watched any Beverly Hills Cop film.
I'm sure I've seen enough of it in like just in the background on the TBS.
No, I guarantee you.
I really doubt TBS aired the stuff that was in the film.
Does me watching Venom with Tom Hardy wearing the Detroit Lions jacket count?
I did love how that was your reference for Axel Foley wearing the Detroit jacket in Beverly Hills Cop rather than the other way around.
He was the king of the 80s.
Oh, my
God.
God.
The 80s. And I want to point out, like,
is that a Laserdisc?
This is no, this is an album. This is Eddie Murphy comedian.
Gotcha. Nice.
Eddie Murphy hit Saturday Night Live while Archie Bunker was still on the air and owned the fucking 80s by the end with movies like Beverly Hills Cop, The Golden Child. He was just killing it, man. Like that decade was Eddie Murphy. I know you weren't alive yet, but
I was alive for some of it.
okay,
I
you
was
might have
alive
been
for some
watching
of
it
it.
as an infant.
I just wasn't. I did. The TV was a great babysitter for me. But
Hey, I've
All
always
of
said TV was my dad.
that's that.
Thereby, by logical ordering, Eddie Murphy was your dad, or is. He's still alive, so.
He owes me some money, child support. Come on, Papa. Also, another thing we're doing for the first time because now StreamYard allows it. We're broadcasting live on Twitter. If anybody's still left on that website,
you mean shitter? XITTER.
I do find it very funny that each of us have a different social media under our names, right?
That's how fractured social media is.
Yeah. Is yours,
Frac-
Danny? Is yours still Twitter? Is that your Twitter handle?
I mean,
Or is it just
really
everywhere?
it's really the one I use the most. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
All right.
it's still. I have curated it well enough for like whatever trash fire is happening outside of my circle.
You have this like wilderness preserve, like bastion, of foliage and trees.
Have you seen The Village? I live in The Village. The M. Night Shyamalan movie.
I love it.
Wait till you send Jessica Chastain out of The Village. Wait a minute, is it Jessica Chastain?
No, it's Ron
Bryce
Howard's
Dallas
daughter.
Howard?
Bryce
Yeah.
Dallas Howard. Yeah.
Man, they're weirdly interchangeable. It's very strange.
Oh, Daniel has some interesting suggestions in the chat, so we'll talk about those afterwards in the second half of the show. But let's talk about our new upcoming stuff. Or I guess not new stuff, but just new stuff for this week. And let me kick it off once again because I'm surprised how much TV I've been watching. It's been refreshing. First of all, I started watching season 2 of Reacher. I love that show so much. I don't understand why. It's really good, but it's like nothing out of the ordinary, right? It's just Alan Rickman kicking ass.
That's all you need, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really all you need. But
what else has that guy been in? I never saw him before. I saw ads for Reacher.
Dude, he was in Titans. He was the first Aquaman on Smallville.
Yeah.
Fuck, he just keeps getting bigger. That's the thing. Like, if you go back and look at his Aquaman, he's just like a lean dude, and now he's like the fucking Hulk.
So they dropped 3 episodes this week on Prime. So man, yeah, I'm really, really enjoying that. This time he's getting the old crew back together, a little bit of Fast and Furious vibes, trying to get the gang back together. So these are all based on books that are already out there. And at the beginning of every episode, it tells you like this is based on this book or whatever. I forget the name of it.
Oh, that's cool.
So, like, Lee Child.
Yeah. Which one?
Lee Child. He's the author of the Reacher.
Oh yeah. The only thing that every time this show comes back, I am amazed at how somebody said, "Yeah, we can get Tom Cruise to be this character." He embodies
5'3" Tom Cruise because the character is described as like 6'2" or something, right? Like he's a massive guy.
Now I want to address this comment. So there are 2 shows that are very similar. One's called Jack Ryan. That one does have John Krasinski from The Office.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Reacher is a different show.
Completely.
But it is funny to see John Krasinski be like a badass Jack Ryan. That show's also very good, which I haven't watched the newest season of that, but it's very good as well. Next, I continue on my trip over the northeast of the country. Still watching Fargo. But so in between the new episodes of Fargo, because there's a whole week, I watched Fargo season 2.
That's like my favorite season.
I need to watch season 2. That's the one in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
It's Jesse Plemons, Kirsten Dunst, Patrick what's his name? Ocean Master. Patrick Ocean Master, that's his full name.
Oh god damn
Yeah.
it. It's an Ocean Master.
Ted
Night
Danson's in it.
Owlman.
Nick Offerman's in it.
Oh yeah, I forgot Nick Offerman's in it.
Yeah, it's just really, really good. Like I watched season 1 when it first came out. That's the one with Billy Bob Thornton and Martin Freeman.
Yeah, and
I
it's
thought it was
just
good.
okay.
Yeah, that one's not as good. The second one, really, really good.
Wait, you're telling me you did not like season 1 of Fargo as much as season 2?
Patrick, you will never be Ocean Master. That's really good. That's really good. Shout out to Neil, host of MK Podquest. Go check that out. Crew Expendable. A lot of really fun stuff. But yeah, that's really good, Neil. I'm gonna probably clip that out.
And then you had the third season has Ewan McGregor and
So I've started the third season. So are you? I don't know if these couples are meeting on the show and then getting married, or if you're required to come in as a couple, because Ewan McGregor and Mary Elizabeth Winstead are both in season 3, and they're married. So like
Jesse
I was trying to think,
Plemons
like,
and Kirsten
yeah,
Dunst are married from season 2.
right. So is Noah Hawley like also just a matchmaker on top of like being this badass writer director?
Who will marry
Which
Juno Temple this season?
right? Maybe John Hamm. Maybe they'll end up married.
I do love her. She is a fantastic actress.
You haven't heard her do a Minnesota accent. Oh my god, dude. It is. I think Minnesota accents. Okay, then.
Okay,
I
then.
love that. I love that. Like, there's not a lot of accents that I think are really funny in this world, but that one's really, it hits every time, and they're all so good at it. So yeah, I'm loving Fargo. I'm gonna keep watching. Season 5 is also really good, so I'll definitely talk about. I'll probably do a video when I finish season 5. But season 2 has been so good. I mean, season 2 was so good. Season 3 is also very good. Ewan McGregor has 2 roles in it, which is crazy. Like he plays brothers. I hear season 4 is maybe not as good as 2 and 3.
That's the one I haven't
that's
seen
the
yet. So.
I think that's the one with Chris Rock.
Chris Rock, yeah.
Yeah, so but it's funny too, like the people that just kind of show up to do bit roles, like what's his name from Always Sunny, Mac.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah, he shows up for a little bit. Oh, Carrie Coon is also in season 3. She's one of my favorite people ever. Yeah, guys, this show's good. Y'all need to get on Fargo.
She's Proxima Midnight, isn't she?
Carrie Coon? No,
yeah,
she was. Oh yeah, Proxima Midnight in the Avengers movies. I was thinking of. I don't know why I was thinking of Watchmen when you said that, and I was like, I don't think that's her name.
You're always stuck in your Zack Snyder world.
No, I got a Zack Snyder rant for later on.
Oh my!
I'm curious because I've seen some things written online, and now I want to know your take.
Me too, because I've heard RebelMoon is a piece of shit.
I have a quote I've kept because I'm so curious.
Yeah, let me do one more thing, and then we'll get into it.
Oh, good.
We'll get into it. All right. The last thing I went to watch yesterday was, not yesterday, the day before, was Wonka. And I'm not a musical person, but the movie was so good. Like, it was just entertaining. There was the people that were there. There were families watching there. Their kids were dancing around, and like they were really into the movie. Like it's the same guy that does the Paddington film. No. You know what? It's a kids film. I went into it. It's a musical. I get it. Like the director's the same guy that does the Paddington movies, which everyone like universally loves.
Everyone loves.
I've seen the first one. It is good. So
he finds a way to like bring heart into this story of this crazy chocolatier person that's trying to fight capitalism until he maybe in the future eventually becomes capitalism. I don't know. That's probably why the character that we saw in the original movie was so like cynical and like just over everything, right? Because of that. But in this one, you get to see where he's still like naive and full of hope, and just like he just wants to make chocolate. So yeah,
He's
the
just a young
surrounding
Jeff
cast is really
Bezos
good.
in this crazy capitalism world, trying to
You know,
find his feet and
maybe
crush
so.
every other competitor.
I will say Jeff Bezos was never looking for whom to inherit his empire to.
Yeah, I was going to say if we get the end of the Amazon story being Jeff Bezos gives his entire company to a boy that survived his factory and they leave in a glass elevator, I'll kind of respect him. I mean, you know.
I want to see the capitalism version of Wonka where it's Paul Giamatti and he is like, I'm going to buy this small company, fire everyone. I'm going to buy this, crush all the people, chocolate forever.
Paul Giamatti is Wonka.
The chocolatier. I think Gene Wilder was obviously amazing in his version of it, but you know, my one complaint about the film was that it feels like Hugh Grant kind of phoned it in as the Oompa Loompa.
Oh, he's already on record saying he hated making that movie, and I believe his reasoning is what is it with like UK actors like having to make movies they don't like because they have either a castle they just bought or, in Hugh Grant's case, too many kids was his reason.
But I recommend it. I think it'll be a good time with the fam. So that'll be nice. And then, speaking of Paul Giamatti, I didn't put it on the notes, but real quick, I want to touch on the Holdovers.
I want to see this.
Hearing great things.
It's
no?
fantastic.
Recommend okay. You're doing that. No.
No, like it's fantastic. I recommend it. It may be like it's probably a good holiday classic to like on the more not sad, but definitely on the more serious side of the holidays. Like it's really nice. It's a really nice, well done movie. Paul Giamatti's great. The kid who plays the kid that stays behind and all the other stuff, they're great. So, give me 1 second. And then, last but not least, what was that thing? Oh, I also watched Merry Little Batman, new animated Batman thing on Amazon. It's fucking lovely. I love it.
Oh, nice.
Fucking lovely.
Next fucking lovely. That's right. Yeah, you know what? Grab the folk. I guess I don't know if they'll ever make physical media of that, but sure, use it. Let's go around. We'll touch on the Zack Snyder thing after we all go through our stuff. Oh, sorry. Right. Go ahead. I forgot to hand it off. Yeah.
Okay. Has anyone watched the Netflix series Bodies?
I want to because it's based on that comic I read ages ago. Is it also bad? I'm really curious about this.
It's one of those that will pull you in by the concept.
Yes, that's why I read the comic.
And then fail to execute it. So yeah, I need to read the comic then because I'm halfway through the series, and I just kind of go, "This is it." Like,
I'm okay. I am weirdly glad to hear this because I was worried I missed something about the comic. The comic does the exact same thing, and I believe the same writer worked on both the series and the comic. But the comic has, and I guess the show, because it's based on it, has a brilliant concept. And that's why I originally picked it up. It was, it's so old. It was a Vertigo miniseries.
What was it called? Bodies?
Yeah. I read it. It was 8 issues, and this was over a decade ago. And I read it, and I was thinking this book is going to be great to read next year for the comic book club. And then I got to the end and went, "This is shit. I'm not making them read it."
No.
That's kind of how I feel about the TV show.
That's what I wondered. Okay.
Great premise, but as you watch it, you're just like stuff just kind of happens.
Yep.
So like there's a scene where they just have like a lot of photographs, and this random photograph of this like doorway, they're like, "That's it." Like they just suddenly shit just falls in their lap nonstop. It's like TV police work.
The best thing that came out of this whole bit is I want to hear Chris Rock say, Yo, mama's so old. She could be a Vertigo comic. Like I want to.
I will point out. So I just brought up the trade paperback that just got released on Halloween this year because of the show. Presumably, it is now a DC Black Label. But I can go to my Comixology, my Amazon comic library, and find it. It was Vertigo.
Oh, sorry. Last photo, so you know exactly what Josh is talking about for the death of Comixology.
Yeah.
Comixology. Well, okay, so I won't touch on spoilers, but I will say the premise is it is a crime story told in 4 different decades when a body appears at the same location, and these 4 detectives are trying to figure out who and why this body has appeared. While it's happening, you're also seeing the story of a boy who would become the leader of a New Britain, because during his lifetime, something happens in England, and so it's just really fucking frustrating to talk about because when you get to the end, you're just like, well, that's some bullshit.
Yep.
You know, it just really kind of goes, oh, there's the end. That's it. And it's so frustrating. But I had to watch it. Like I had to see how it was going to end. And it just really wasted my time. Like it became a background show that I kind of got interested in. And then suddenly I was like, I'm just going to play a video game because I really just don't care. But then I was like, well, I've got like 2 or 3 more episodes. I need to see how it ends just for that closure. But I don't know if you enjoyed the time travel or if you enjoyed the comic, maybe jump into it. But it is a lot of time to commit to a show that kind of just the ending isn't a great payoff. So, in some ways, but I feel like it's erasing Karen Berger's legacy by undoing Vertigo.
It's such a shame because I mean, Braugher is brilliant, and she really revolutionized DC in the 90s and 2000s. It's just awful. So, but
anything they're reprinting that's pretty old that was, and not just Vertigo, but any of their other imprints that were like kind of more weird or more mature. Everything that's being reprinted, it is being re-released as Black Label, which I think in part of it, it's fine for a new audience. It's less confusing than like, what the hell is all this? But you're right. A lot of people work very hard. But you know what? I mean, I think the real ones will never forget Karen Berger. So
yeah, exactly.
I just find it weird because they had the opportunity to make something like called Vertigo Classics or Vertigo Vault, you know, and then it could have been this thing, you know, like we're not making any new Vertigo, but here's all the rich material that was produced from it. So
I feel like it's maybe a money thing. Maybe
probably
it's got to be a money thing. I would think that as long as Karen Berger was pulling in great books, that maybe she got a commission or something in there that if it was reprinted under Vertigo, that she would get paid. That, and I'm just making that up. That's the only assumption because you only make changes if it's financially beneficial for you.
Or does this tie into rights issues, a la what's his face with Fables? You know, like
like if they went to go reprint Fables, you know, it's in the public domain, and now it'd be reissued under Black Label.
Even the Vertigo stuff, like that wouldn't. I don't know that Karen Berger would be the one who would benefit from the rights stuff. It would be like the original creators, right? Like that was kind of the deal, that it was like half and half, or like not half and half maybe, but like there was some kind of like creator-owned piece of Vertigo to it, I thought.
Right. But to change the publishing house is the only weird.
To me, that just feels like some exec being like Vertigo integration, synergy, like Jack Donahue, that shit.
Right.
Jack Donahue.
That's what it feels like.
I started my 30 Rock rewatch, and it's such a
it's so good.
Yeah,
I love 30 Rock. Just real quick, another comment for Daniel. Season Loki, you know, Loki season 2. That's definitely a good one to.
I need to watch it. I haven't watched it yet.
That might be on your list later.
So good.
And shout out to John.
I watched a movie called Love and Monsters on Netflix. Have you guys seen this?
I've seen the thing on Netflix. I haven't seen the actual movie.
It has the great Jessica Henwick from Iron Fist.
Oh yeah.
In it. I am such a fan of hers, but it is a rom-com in the apocalypse. Yeah, and it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it. The lead is this kid Dylan O'Brien. I think that he was in the Maze Runner franchise.
Yep.
But he's really good in this and entertaining. I actually saw another fan casting where someone said, "Hey, could Dylan O'Brien play the Flash?" And I absolutely think he could, because this kid was funny. He could deliver. He was really good in this. You also have support from Michael Rooker and Ariana Greenblatt. Do you guys know that kid's name?
Is she the one that does the British accent in the Adam Sandler movie?
She is the kid from the Barbie movie. And she also played young Gamora in Endgame.
Oh, cool. And Ahsoka.
Yeah.
She was also in Ahsoka.
And Ahsoka, yeah. So she's like an apprentice to Michael Rooker. So imagine you're growing up in the apocalypse, and Michael Rooker's your boss. So she just has great lines, great delivery. It's so fun.
It's giving Cable and Hope.
Yeah, exactly. That's the vibe. But in this apocalypse, there are monsters that have grown out. Like a meteor was coming to Earth, and they shoot rockets or some shit, and because of the chemicals they use, they poison their own planet, but save the Earth from asteroids. And all these creatures grow from this. So you have all these kind of like little communities that have huddled together to survive. So it isn't like, people versus people stuff. It's like you don't know what kind of monsters are out there. And so Dylan O'Brien, so the apocalypse had happened 7 years ago. He's going in search of his girlfriend, Jessica Henwick, and that's kind of the journey. Is like that's the rom-com of today. Is like you'll go find your girlfriend in the post-apocalypse. I think that's a Netflix.
I watched the other Jessica Henwick movie that just came out, Royal Hotel. Way different.
I finally felt I was numb enough to start watching Black Mirror again. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's just not as chilling as it has been in the past. Just some great episodes in the latest season. Has anyone else gotten encouraged?
I only watched the first one about the Joan Murphy. What's her name? Yeah. Which was fine. I felt like that one seemed like the more lighthearted one. The other one seemed pretty and then there was also the one that's like in 1979 or something, the Black Mirror Red or something they call it. There's one that takes place in the past as opposed to like a technological future, which was a new thing they were trying out this season, which I think it's interesting to do that. But definitely the technology won't be a commentary on that kind of technology, right? Because it'll be like, I don't know, we didn't have internet in this. I don't know when the internet was invented, but I don't imagine everyone had it in the 79.
Oh no. Demon 79, that's the episode.
That's it. So I think it's more maybe supernatural based as opposed to technology based.
And then Australia has this new sitcom called Fisk, and it's been highly recommended and rated from what I've seen. And Netflix just got the second season, so I started the first season. Very dry. If you like British humor, I recommend it. Kind of the story of this woman who's an attorney in very boring stuff. And she's very, I don't want to say boring, but they definitely try to make her appear bland. They dress her in brown. She's very blends into stuff, wallflower type character, but very funny, very dry humor. So if you dig that, I really recommend it. But that's what I've been watching.
Nice. Josh, do you have anything that you have a few things that you watch. So let's start with those and then we'll circle back around to comics.
Okay. So I have watched a couple things, which is odd, I know. First off, of course, I finally got to go see Godzilla -1. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. If you had told me In the year of our Lord, 2023, someone would make a Godzilla movie that would make me cry, I would have said you're absolutely shitting yourself. But holy crap, tearing up at the end of that movie. It is amazing. It's really good. Yeah, definitely go check it out. It honestly, it does feel like a big screen experience, but I do feel like it's such an intimate movie. You won't miss a lot of it if you watch it at home, honestly. And I say that as well because the I don't know if it's the well, he did all of it, so most likely the director. But one of the really great things that they do is a lot of the shots of Godzilla are from street level human view. So there are these shots where you're looking up at him a lot. And that's not exactly a big screen experience, right? It feels like you can watch that on a small screen and get the same impact. So anyway, really great. Really, really good. Amazing.
So watch on the floor.
Watch it on your phone.
Yeah.
Sit on the floor.
Do not watch it in 18 TikTok videos. I will personally come to your house. But also an amazing soundtrack. The soundtrack is really, really good. It's very... no one brought this up in the reviews that I read, but I was getting a lot of Jaws vibes from it because it builds up this tension. And the music adds to that. Like the music is really ambient. Like it just, but then it just kind of builds up this pulse that like ramps up the intensity. It's great. It's really good.
It was weird when they said we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yes, exactly. You're right. Yeah, that whole kind of that sequence in the water is very Jaws.
Well, it's not just that they go, we're gonna need a bigger boat, and then like wink at the camera. So that was
I gotcha.
very good.
And then but then it just came out, I want to say this week, but the documentary called it A Disturbance in the Force, which is a documentary about the making of the Star Wars holiday special. And I have to tell you, like, I would watch any documentary about the holiday special because it is such a weird shit show. As a documentary, this is really, really good. It's enjoyable. It goes really in depth.
Okay, good, because that I have studied the holiday special so much that it better bring new information to me.
Well, and that's what I can't tell you because I know a scunch about it, right? But from my perspective, I felt like it did a really good job of setting up how we got this thing, right? I mean, again, I had no idea that Bruce Valanche worked on this holiday special.
Yes. With a lot of cocaine help.
Oh yeah, they interviewed Donny Osmond about like the horrible mashing together of 70s variety show culture and Star Wars. It's really, really, really impressive. And there's the one spoiler I'll give you, there is a great bit in there where they're interviewing Seth Green, and he's talking about the period of time when he was at the ranch working on the series that didn't ever get picked up. It was that CGI Star Wars series Detours, I think.
Yeah.
And he said one day he realized a bunch of the people working on it had never seen the holiday special. So he said, we're going to go to the theater and all of us are going to watch the holiday special. And I want to see which among us can sit through the whole thing. And he said, one by one, people just started getting up and walking out. So
the 70s were a wild time, man. Like now when you're a celebrity and you've kind of like peaked and you're still trying to be significant, so you end up on a reality show. In the 70s, you got a variety show. Right. So you all you did was come out and host, and you would have other acts that would kind of carry your name and that was it.
Yeah.
And so that was what was great, is like this was like a variety show, and you go, well, what was popular in the 70s? And it was like mimes. There were network shows based on people who didn't talk. Shields and Yarnell were big.
They bring that up, actually. Yeah. So there may not be much in this documentary that you don't already know, Clay, but I think you'll at least like how they package it all together. So
okay, cool. I'm very excited for it.
And what's great is you can rent it on almost every service for $5, or you can buy it in HD for $10.
Okay.
It's really not expensive, and so yeah.
I was looking for it streaming and could not find it except for pay.
Oh, yeah, it's not streaming anywhere yet, as far as I know. Quite honestly, I feel like Disney Plus would be idiots not to pick this up,
Exactly.
right? I know they won't, but they'd be idiots not to do it. So, there's a soundtrack even, which is very strange. I couldn't even tell you the music in it. But anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, when they went into the show, they said, well, we have these characters that don't have a language, so they're not going to speak for the first 20 minutes. So we need to find actors who can mime, and that was how a lot of this went about. And then you had each segment had like a music or something to kind of break it up like a variety show.
Oh, there is one reveal at the end of it that I don't want to tell anyone. I will be curious if you knew this, though, Clay, because it blew my fucking mind.
Damn okay, I'll have to track it down.
I mean, if unfortunately I bought it on Prime, I would just give you my Amazon login, but it taps into like so much. But anyway. But yeah, that's kind of all. I mean, we're still watching Spaced as our nighttime viewing. We wrapped up Frasier, the first season. That's about it.
First season, like the original.
No, the new one.
The reboot. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then let's move on to comics. We'll just go back around the horn here. Guys, real good time for comics. I'm gonna start with something that's not from this week, but I read it because it was something that was coming out this week. Moon Knight 30, which is the last issue of the current Jed MacKay run, was coming out this week. So on Tuesday, I had the day off, but also because of adult situations and not like the fun kind.
No.
I had to sit on a waiting room for a while, so I was like,
no.
I need to. Oh no, everything's fine. But I was like, okay, waiting room. Don't worry, I got my iPad. I got Marvel Unlimited. Let's catch up on fucking Moon Knight. So I read 17 issues of Moon Knight to catch up to number, so I could read.
I'm gonna reread it all the way to the end. So don't tell me because I haven't read 29.
I won't go into spoilers, but this series is so like I had read the first 2 volumes. I was really on board. This series is so good. Jed MacKay and the team, who I think has 2 main artists, which are Alessandro Cappuccio and Federico Sabatini. Those are the main artists that are kind of rotating in through the Moon Knight run. He establishes so much. I really love kind of like the street level feel of the whole run. And yeah, just the character growth, like just the characters that he started putting around Moon Knight. I haven't read a lot of Moon Knight runs, but I feel like I've read some of the really good ones, including like stuff like Jeff Lemire. But to me, and this may be recency bias, this may be my definitive Moon Knight run. Like,
whoa!
Like the way Scott Snyder and Capullo are Batman for me. Like,
right.
This may be Moon Knight for me. It's so good, and it all led up to me on Wednesday finally reading Moon Knight 30th, which I also got a couple of covers, including Greg Capullo.
Covers.
Speaking of, Greg Capullo did.
Oh, that's nice.
So, let me move into first.
Wait, is he landing on the moon?
Yes.
Interesting. All right.
Lemire brought in the idea of a space knight. concept. So if you go through Lemire's run, you'll have like this astronaut in space that is, I'm not sure if it's Mark or who it is, or if it's a new personality.
It's Neil Armstrong.
It's Neil Armstrong from 30 Rock.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Or Buzz Aldrin. Buzz
Aldrin. Shit, you're right. God damn it.
Moon.
Having a staring contest with the moon. And then let me go through some of the books that it was a good week. Heavy week, too. There was one book I missed out on picking up, and I'm probably going to go get it after we record. Ed Brubaker, as you can see, a lot of my Ed Brubaker books are out here. He dropped Where the Body Was this week. I forgot to pick it up when I was at the shop, so I'm going to probably go find it. Also, another thing that I'm going to end up reading and probably talk more about this, the last issue of Danger Street came out, the Tom King book with Leonardo Romero, is it? Jorge Fornes. So the team that they did Rorschach is back together. So the last issue dropped, so I'm finally going to catch up on that. Continue to read Silent Night, Santa Claus, Batman crossover. The thing we needed. Batman and Robin as well continues to be a lot of fun. I love the Santa Claus variant.
Yes.
An homage to the Quietly variant from the Grant Morrison run. I may be the only person reading this, but I'm a big fan of Saint Seiya, and the fact that they have a comic out, like the Knights of the Zodiac have a comic out, it's fantastic. So, Ablaze, keep doing what you're doing. Titans Beast World, another lenticular cover. This is Black Adam turning into a lion.
I see they've kind of drifted away from the look of The Rock.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he has hair. So
what a short-lived
yeah.
Yeah.
The Rock was going to be Black Adam and reinvigorate DC, and then he was not
Yes.
ever going to do that.
If you talk about it in the fact that it started back in 2016 or so when he was starting to pitch the movie, it's quite a lengthy run.
Yeah,
but yeah, I agree.
But then it's like, here's the movie. Yawn.
Yeah. Which, I liked it. Other people didn't. It is what it is. Sabrina holiday special, also out this week. I haven't read this one, but I'm very excited for it. We got a few people. I don't know. Maybe this is the Twitter thing. Yeah, it is. Okay, so these people. So Joey, shout out to Joey, doing really cool things over at Geek Collective, and my buddy Carlos. Shout out
on Shitter.
I couldn't figure out how to put this on Instagram Live as well. I got to do some changes to our account, so I'll probably do that for next week maybe, and we'll have more platforms. Also, they're reprinting the whole thing because
I know each week, right? Like we're getting issue 3 next week. It's crazy. I'm getting that too.
So I'm just gonna own the Batman Year One facsimiles now.
Yeah, totally.
The holiday anthology for DC. 'Twas the Might Before Christmas. Really fun stories, including, if you guys remember from Teen Titans, they brought my boy Bunker back, and it's this is from New 52 Teen Titans. So yeah, really cool. Let's see. I haven't read White Widow, but really cool
Peach
Momoko cover.
Mm-hmm.
Double Peach Momoko, the Marvel Zombies book this week had Peach Momoko.
Nice.
You can check it out on. We have a review for it on the channel. Of course, Beyond Real. Now this book is free. Remember. Now the only thing when I went to pick it up at my shop, they're like, it's hard to do a free book because it has a little bit more mature content.
Oh, right.
So like they can't just really leaving it. They can't just really leave it at the up for grabs.
Yeah.
So you may have to ask for it, but it should be at your shop and it should be free. Good question from Joey. Actually, Marvel's paper is the one that is kind of like toilet paper.
Yeah, it's not good.
Speaking of. Yeah, DC's not as bad. And then the last couple things, the new Gargoyle of Gotham book came out from the Black Label.
I'm so hyped.
It's very good. And then DC did the closest thing to bringing Bucky back, and they gave us the retelling of Batman. What is this? 428. But Robin lives in this issue, so they reprinted the story. I guess they had 2 stories ready to go, right?
They had, yeah.
So in this one, he lives. There's a few things that threw me off when I was rereading this. There's a lot of Iran on this issue.
Oh, yeah. The Ayatollah.
That's right.
And then at the end of the book, spoilers for 40-year-old book. Fucking Joker is the ambassador of Iran to the U.S., so he has immunity, and Batman can't get to him.
Now why are we not visiting this multiverse? Come on, DC, get your shit together.
Oh,
but
shit,
you know what's funny?
That.
I went back to look. That's the original ending to that issue. The stuff that changes, yeah. The stuff that changes is a few pages in between. So instead of Batman finding a dead body, he finds him he finds Jason Todd, but he's alive.
Right, he's cradling him in his arms.
Yeah, his mom dies, but he's able to he takes him like somewhere to get healthy. I don't know what DC's gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna like follow up on that or not, or if it was just like a one thing to sell me a shiny variant, which whatever, I'm on board. But
I would love for DC to do team ups with their villains and terrorists throughout history.
Oh man,
Darkseid and Osama bin Laden.
No, remember in the issue for September 11th
is the better example.
Yeah, because even if you remember, even after September 11th happened, even the Joker was like, "Fuck you, I'm an American" or something like that, right?
Yeah, so, he wouldn't side with Nazis. He said, "Fuck that."
So,
those people are crazy.
Nazis and so. But yeah, I mean, this was still very cool. Just some random. I didn't know there was a Magnolia cover. Which was
right, yeah, shit, I didn't either. I forgot about that.
Because it doesn't look like his normal style. Like this was before he found his what we call his style now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, good week for comics. Got a bunch of reviews in the channel if you want to go check it out. Cool things are coming as well. We don't have a review for this week, but let me go back to Clay, and then we'll finish up with Josh with these comics.
I think a book we all read this week for Comic Book Club. I'm just gonna go over it quickly. Favorite book of the year. That's it. It's just that good. Like I picked it up and then just read it cover to cover.
So did I.
And
yeah.
What was this? This is a TKO book. I bought it when I was buying a couple of TKO books. It was like buy one get 2 for free. So I was like, you can't miss with Jeff Lemire. So I've had that sitting on my shelf for like a year.
And Gabriel Walter, fantastic. Also, if you haven't bought Sentient, TKO put out a hardcover version of it. They've only hardcovered 2 books. This one and Sarah. Yeah.
I mean, the art looks like it came out of heavy metal. Like it just gives me that vibe. And it is a story of a bunch of kids, and they look like kids. That's the most important. Like,
and they act like kids. That's the other important thing, right? They're not. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
I really want to just sit and talk about it, but we'll talk about it in comic book.
We can talk about it next week.
One of my favorite books of the year.
Yeah, we can talk about it next week after we do book club.
Yeah. Howard the Duck #1. Loved it. It has a bunch of what-ifs in it. They did bring back another character that's kind of weird because it's a what-if, but then it's like, but we also have a reference to him back in the original run of Howard. The Chip Zdarsky story is probably my favorite, where they fight focus group. A group that takes every story and makes it just mediocre for the masses to consume.
Did you understand my comment about that brutal Spider-Man joke on the last page?
Yes.
it's so wrong and yet perfect.
It's so funny too, because it's like you never really think, because like Peter is pretty much kind of a I would say, uplifting character, or he's trying to be positive. But when you look at his overall life, pretty rough.
Yeah, it's hard.
End of Moon Knight, and I plan on doing what Daniel did, and just, well, not in an emergency room waiting situation, but just go.
It was just a regular waiting room. Yeah. No, don't worry.
Good.
It was just more of like, you know, when you're an adult and you have to just sit there because you got to wait your turn. Yeah.
Dude, I've been going to UT Southwestern like this whole past year to get all my medical. I got like another steroid shot in my shoulders. I've like not had to wait for anything, and it's all been like new doctors. So I've had like a steroid shot in my spine, my knees, my shoulders, and other than I don't use my cane anymore. I'm walking without my cane.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
But the day I got the the knee injections, I tripped at home and just my knees caught it. And so it really fucked up the shot bad, so they're back to hurting again. But I can get another one in like 6 months. So we interrupt this story for my medical updates. I haven't read this, but I already know the ending because Kyle told it last week.
Oh yeah, I was gonna stop him, and I try to make sure that Kyle doesn't go too deep into spoilers, but the
right off the
man loves
bat.
a spoiler. Although I think I had already seen outrage online, so I was like, okay, it's probably something. Like I kind of started putting pieces together, and then when Kyle kind of confirmed everything, still a pretty cool story though.
Alpha Flight continues to put out the best covers. Even the variant from Peach Momoko of Snowbird is excellent. Like just beautiful. So beautiful. Because it was a Scotty Young cover, I got the Century, and I haven't read it yet, but it looks really good. I kind of flipped through it because I was like, sometimes I get these covers and it's like, well, I might not be into this book, but this looks very interesting.
Let me know once you read it. Let me know once you read it, because I talked about it this week with I was on the I Read Comic Books podcast this week. That was one of the books I talked about, so I'll be interested to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, and I know some of you guys aren't fans of the Guardians run right now, but this looks like going to be a whole Mantis take, which shows like all her various looks throughout time.
Oh wow,
fascinating! So I'm curious where they're going with that. Howard the Duck cover for Immortal Thor, and cleanup on Earth 48 with Harlequin.
I saw that.
I was able to get out to Half Price Books and pick up something that I'm super excited for, the Doom Patrol run of
Gerard Way.
Yeah, I was able to get the first 2 issues, and so I kind of know some of the story, but because some of this overlapped into the Doom Patrol TV show, I'm super excited to read this. Do you guys know the worst comic book you've ever read?
If I had to guess right off the top of my head, that Transfusion one we did for book club was pretty bad.
Yes, that was very bad. Yeah.
Yeah, that was real bad. I'd been doing a research on the character Blue Devil out of DC, and so I've read a bunch, and it's a character that goes from kind of a humorous character to kind of a darker character later. But they did. I feel bad shitting on the team that did this, but there was a New 52 reboot of Blue Devil, which is just the most ridiculous premise and execution and story of Blue Devil that there is, because Blue Devil was a character that was trapped in a stunt suit by a demon and then given power. So like he was a human that all of a sudden he had this costume on, and now he's that character. And then dies a few times and is brought back, but he's brought back as the demon more and more each time. I'll cover up if you guys want to look up who did this. The New 52 has a story with Black Lightning and Blue Devil that I thought, oh, this isn't in any of the trades, I'll pick it up, but I had bought it digitally. I remember reading it going, man, this is just the worst comic. Like, this is the worst take I've seen anyone do on Blue Devil. And then I was like, oh, I don't have this one in my inventory. Picked it up, and then I was like, oh yeah, I remember why I don't have this.
Is it okay? To compare it, is it better or worse than 0 Hours Fate?
Worse.
Oh wow, that's a very low bar.
Yeah, I know that one has the worst costume, but this one, you know what? Let me show you.
Oh, it's also just a terrible interpretation of
terrible interpretation. Yeah. But the costume in this, because like Blue Devil's costume is very cartoony in the original, and in here it's like this shirtlet, like he's wearing a shirt, maybe, but it's like all open in the front and
practical.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like Huntress, who had her chest exposed so she can have a cross on hers, or it's just like this Blue Devil with like this open shirt. Like, it's just so sad and ridiculous. And the story is
the character of Kid Devil related to Blue Devil?
Yes, it's it was a fan. He was a kid who loved all the movies and the stunt work and dressed up and became a demon just like him.
Oh, because I remember him from that same run of New 52 Teen Titans. So interesting.
And finally, I bought it. Every story was so good.
what a way to make it official. The show, I love it.
It's mine now.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. I rarely will get an event book like that every standalone story actually ties to it and is good and worth reading. I mean, this is one of the few examples of doing it right. I loved it.
For those watching, let us know your like what you remember being the worst comic you've ever read.
Yeah.
Maybe we read it, and maybe we disagree.
And then the last thing I've read has Transformers 2 and 3. Daniel Warren Johnson just is still rocking it, man. Like, I love this book. Oh, it's so good.
I was watching his stream yesterday. I actually put a little clip on the channel here. Let me pull it up. But yeah, no, tell me more, Clay. It's a really good.
Yeah, and I love the little hints to like the guy in the jet when he parachute out and see his name tag and details like that. But he draws action so well. Like, I love it. There is a shot of Optimus Prime hitting a Decepticon straight on, and it is awesome.
Yeah, let me show you guys something real quick. I put this up yesterday on our shorts. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Okay, here on his recent stream, Daniel Warren Johnson was taking some questions and drawing some new Transformer issues, as you can see from behind me. And I dropped on the chat a question where I asked if Transformers is the most labor-intensive project that he's ever done. And here's what he had to say.
Next issue podcast, not necessarily. You know, each book kind of has its own difficulties and challenges, but also things that are easier, you know. But the deadlines have not been great.
All right, so there you go. Go check out. He does a lot of those streams where he's just kind of drawing Transformers, and he's like,
"Oh, I didn't know that. I'll have to."
That's awesome.
He does.
Yeah, me either.
Fridays with D-Dubs. So go check out his channel. And he doesn't need me to plug him, but well, there it is. Cool. Josh, let's wrap up your comic stuff, and then we'll get onto our show.
Okay.
Actually, we'll do other business and then our show.
You're right. Yes. So I am way behind. I've got 2 weeks worth of books at my shop I need to pick up. By the way, no one else mentioned the fact, and I was super excited about this, that either last week or this week, David Lapham of Stray Bullets fame has a new book out. And I can't wait to read it. So anyway, I'm a big Stray Bullets fan.
What's the book?
I can't remember. I was trying to go back through my list and I couldn't find it. And then I went to his social thinking he had posted about it and he hadn't. So, but just weird, random old stuff that I read. Continuing to read the Pathfinder Wake the Dead comic. It's fun. I'm at the point where this is, so it's a 5-issue miniseries. I'm at the point where this is very much a collection kind of book to read. I was struggling to get through this because I couldn't remember what the hell had happened. But one thing I love about all these comics is at the back, they always include custom rules material. So if you play the game, you can like get custom feats and ancestry heritages and spells and stuff, which is always kind of nice. So it's fun. I'm glad it's back in comic form. I took a chance on this book called Lunar Lodge, and by Dark Horse. What'd
you think?
Didn't really care for it. It's the kind of book that it's very clear they're setting up something, but it's so painfully obvious that I'm like, I don't need to keep reading it. So, sorry, Danny, go ahead.
No, I agree. I read the book and I was like, oh, this is fine. It's maybe it'll be better as a collection once you can kind of keep going in with the mystery. Like the character, and to kind of address what Joey's asking, like there's no character development at all. Like this dude is just kind of going through the motions. It almost feels like these are the usual kind of things that happen in a mystery book like this, so let's do that. But the characters never explored. Like, I don't know why this dude's he's I don't know what he's doing.
Right.
I don't know what he's looking for. And I think maybe those answers will come later on. So like I said, maybe this is better of a collection read. I think the art was pretty good. I enjoyed the art.
Art was great. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It gave a mood, like it set the mood right for what the story I thought I was going to get. But yeah, there was just not much of the character there. So
yeah, I agree 100%. It was like, I feel like we needed some background before, like it really throws you in right at the start of the story. But I wonder if you're not getting background because that's one of the reveals that comes later. But because of that, I have no investment. So I'm really not interested. Sorry to the creators, but
no, to Joy's point here as well. Definitely like a lot of these it's an industry problem, right? Like a lot of these should probably be graphic novels that are released all at once.
Yep.
They're not, and they're just because that's the way we set up the market. That's the way the market's been set up. Like they have to do single issues. So
kind of in a similar vein, but in a good way. I read the first issue of Mortal Terror. This is written by Christopher Golden with art by Tim. Actually, when I say that, I might be wrong. No, I'm sorry. It's written by Christopher Golden and Tim Leben. Art by Peter Bergting. Colors by Chris O'Halloran. And letters by Clem Robbins. This is a really cool premise. And again, it's kind of similar, but in contrast to Lunar Lodge is the fact that the premise is, once you realize what the premise is, everything they're setting up is very obvious. But because these are pulling from well-known characters, you kind of, if you've read Dracula or watched the Coppola Dracula, which is like the closest, you kind of get all the interconnected relationships. So, spoiler, just I'm warning everyone now, spoiler, but by like page 3, you've picked up on this. The concept here is we're in a universe where Dracula won. Yeah. And like the majority of people are vampires. And the monsters are the humans. That's the title, Mortal Terror, right? It's the mortals. It's the people who can die that are the problem. But there is an opening scene in this that I want to see on film. Because I read it and then I went back and reread it once I realized what had happened. Because when you're experiencing it, you have like it. This starts like, and there's a term for it in media res, right? Like it starts right in the middle of a story. Yeah. You meet a guy named Jonathan. He's on this train, and then basically bad shit happens. And when I was reading it, I was like, why is this hurting them because he runs up to the front where the conductor is and he opens it and they're just on fire screaming sunlight. And I'm like, huh? And then he just starts running away from them as the train just explodes in like a fireball. And it's great. It's like, it's, again, I think in contrast to this, which is, I think tries to do the same thing, this works because it's characters that you know. And once you grok the concept of it, you're fully on board. So
even the one that you kind of get caught up in at the beginning, that with the story, you're like, oh, what's gonna happen to this dude? Because like they make it very clear he's in very grave danger. I was gonna pitch this as reverse vampires, but that's not really the case. But that's kind of what I felt going in. Like I was like, wait, are these reverse vampires? What's going on? Like, are these daywalkers? And then it kind of all becomes clear. Really funny that both of these books came out in the same week.
They did.
I remember I was going to do a review for both. I think I only ended up doing one for Mortal Terror because there's just no time to talk about the books that we don't really like on the video.
Right.
But yeah, that was very interesting. I'm glad you read both of those books too. They're like, and also we want to thank Dark Horse. We are now also working to do reviews, so stay tuned. We'll be reading more Dark Horse stuff, and we're talking about more Dark Horse books in the future since we get some preview copies from them as well. So
I'm also really glad you read both, Danny, because I read these two and I was like, I feel bad because I didn't like one of these and I really like the other, but I feel like they're kind of in the same.
I'm glad we feel the same way because sometimes I don't know if it's just me,
right?
That maybe they didn't like the book or whatever.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yay! Awesome. All right. See, we think alike. And then my last book I read. What?
I just said, oh no.
Oh yeah, don't think like me. That's a horrible idea. I love this book so much, and it's a bit sad because they've already announced it's going to be ending soon. Can we just pull it out for Avengers Inc.? It is so much fun. So much fun in every issue. Again, it does this thing that I feel like we don't get a lot of anymore, which is you can pick up any issue of this, hand it to a kid or a new reader, and they get a full story right here. Now, there's still these like little tendrils of like, we still want to know why is Whirlwind, why does he look like the Vision, there are these little mysteries and they're going to wrap it up by issue 5. But still, like the first 3 issues are just self-contained stories. You can just hand them off and by the time you go cover to cover, you've got a story. It's great. It's really good. It feels like classic comics and I'm here for it. And I'm sad it's ending. Did anyone get a sense, was it meant to end with issue 5? Okay, I kind of got the impression it just wasn't selling well, and they're like, wrap it up, So anyway, that's what. And then I also read Sentient, and I have to agree with Clay. It is one of the best books I've read this year, and also to date my favorite Jeff Lemire book. It's amazing. It's really, really good. I know it's a high bar, right?
I'll go through the role.
I have not read Essex County. I will admit that. But it feels. I think often Lemire's books can kind of like do this a lot, right? Yeah. And this just felt very tight. It's a tight, contained story. It doesn't deviate a lot, but it still is rich with lore and heart and thought. And it's great. It's a really, really good book.
Yeah. I got to ask, at what point did you guys think that the story was going to leap forward like decades so you could see these kids raised by AI?
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It stays with it. And I love that.
I did too.
I guess that's the storytelling lately. That's what it's been. It's like a time jump. Let's see what they've gone through.
Nope.
I might throw Primordial maybe as my favorite.
Which I've not read.
Animals. Okay, so maybe after you read that one, we should. I mean, there's a topic for next year, probably.
There you go. Yeah,
his Moon Knight run is so amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah, I
hard
wasn't
to.
even thinking superheroes.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't think I've read any mainstream stuff by him. I haven't read Moon Knight. Did he do?
I recommend Swamp Thing, Green Hell. He did that with Devil
That's
Monkey.
okay.
Black Label.
I did
Good
not
stuff.
like his run on The Question.
Yeah, I mean,
What was
I
the
think
other
I
new
did it because of that.
he did? Was it Frankenstein and the Agents of Shade?
He did that one. He also did Justice League United, which was not very good. But he also did Green Arrow. Like he had a few arcs there, which were really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. We should definitely do a Jeff Lemire episode sometime soon. And Sweet Tooth, of course. I mean, come on.
Sweet Tooth.
Oh shit! I haven't read Sweet Tooth. I need to. So
I will tell y'all, I did find there is a Canadian channel that is right now broadcasting Essex County. They've done a live action version, but it's in Canada, so you can't stream it here. So if there are any pirates out at sea that could find a copy, that would be
pirates out at sea.
Get an old VPN there.
Canadian TV.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Josh is going off to the sea.
He's going to check his Lemire collection.
Oh no, my books are gone. All right, let's see.
You want me to riff for a minute?
Chat. Yeah.
I know Joey was asking some questions here.
Joey's got really good questions. I mean, Joey promotes comic books, so he is very deep. Like, he works with a lot of Kickstarters. He knows a lot. So go follow Joey for a lot of indie comics for sure. Like,
is he on Blue Sky?
I don't know. I don't think so. Sorry. Yeah, I know. Listen, not everybody's left the boat, even though it's a trash fire. It's like,
are y'all watching the band play while it sings?
yeah. The Titanic. We were like, I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy the rest of the ride until we sink. And we all okay. Joey is on Blue Sky. Great.
Oh,
drop your Blue Sky. We'll welcome you, Joey.
Yeah,
that's where Clay hangs out.
Yeah, that's
Josh hangs out over at Threads. Josh hangs out over at Threads. Clay's in Blue Sky. I'm on. There you go. Joey Galvez, 1984, everywhere. Boom. Yeah, right. Great stuff with the Geek Collective and a lot of really fun stuff.
Let me show you something here real quick. Do I look like a superhero?
With the glasses? Because of the glasses?
These are the Miles Morales Spider-Man 2 PlayStation glasses. I had to finally go renew my prescription, and my insurance paid for a big chunk of this.
Nice.
But yeah, they're Insomniac brand. They're on the back. I know it's so weird to have like eyeglasses in a video game, but I almost got the. I like these. These were actually like really nice, just blue frames.
Yeah, those are nice. Those are nice frames.
They have a Venom that I almost got, but it just looked a little too ridiculous. It's a scramble of like black and white in the color.
Funny you mentioned that. I got to go get my eyes checked before the end of the year, so my vision, like before it, use it or lose it or whatever, right? The visions usually use it or lose it. So maybe I'll look into that. That.
I think there's like 4 different kinds because there's a Peter Parker, there's 2 Miles Morales, a Venom. But yeah, I just happened to see those out when I went to go get those, and now I feel like a superhero.
Which is funny enough because none of them wear glasses.
Exactly.
Oh, cool. Hey, look at that.
I agree. Again. Get on the Threads. Threads is great, man.
I hate that.
I don't endorse anything Facebook related.
Yeah, I know, but I can't endorse Jack Dorsey recreating a terrible service again. So
far, no Nazis.
Everyone go to Mastodon. All right, that's the.
There you go. See, Joey has a comic magazine dropping on Kickstarter with 3 new comics. Great for indie creators. I'm telling you, indie comics, Kickstarter, that's where it's at. But these damn mainstream comics just won't let go there. Speaking of mainstream, all right, we're gonna do a quick segment before we do our main show. You guys were tripping about something earlier, so let's talk RebelMoon for a second.
Okay.
Let's start off with you because you said you had a quote you've been saving.
Okay. So this is from an article at IndieWire, and it about RebelMoon.
Those hacks.
Those hacks at IndieWire. The result is the first half of a singularly torturous slog is that it tries and fails and fails and fails again for 134 minutes of agonizing tedium that are only interrupted by the occasional jolt of sadness for the wasted talent of everyone involved. Too dismal an iota of creative value from pre-existing images that never seemed worthless until Snyder tried to make them unique. It is the cinematic equivalent of an NFT.
Wow.
There's just no way, dude. Like, there's outside of Zack Snyder, there's just too many people that are very talented working on that film. I just can't believe that it would be that bad. Now,
do you know how many people worked on the Star Wars holiday special that have Oscars and Emmys?
Did they work on it though, or were they just like associated with it?
Watch the documentary. It walks you through, like, you know. Yeah.
So, I was trying to watch so I was looking for a release of. So RebelMoon comes out next. Well, the first part comes out next week on Netflix. I think on the 21st. But usually, sometimes these films come out on theaters before. Like I watched Army of the Dead before it came out on Netflix, like a week before or two. But I was looking, I couldn't find anything locally. I know there was a few premieres or whatever, but I'm still pretty excited about the film. The only thing, so here's what I don't understand. I understand these publications, they have to cover this stuff, right? It's their job. Like IndieWire has to go, and so they have to send somebody to watch the movie and then do a review for it. I get that. What I don't understand is the people that already don't like Zack Snyder movies. It feels like they're the first ones that want to watch it so they can shit on it again.
That does make sense.
Which, look, I understand Zack Snyder's part of his fan base is fucking toxic as shit, and I also don't like any of that stuff.
Yeah,
that part is stupid. Which is another reason I can't trust the Rotten Tomatoes score in this one at all, because it's like the audience is like at 74%, but like I don't know how much of that is just like these things that are kind of like mass generated. But then the critics are also it's like around 24%. And I'm like reading the reviews, I'm like, this doesn't feel like a negative review. It just feels like a middling review, but anything that's kind of middling, it's being aggregated as a Rotten score.
The last time you could trust Rotten Tomatoes was like 1989.
Wait, there was no internet in '89. Touche, sir.
This is where Clay was at the farmer's market and the tomatoes were rotten on the box. I still trust you, boys. I still would throw you. Yeah. So that is the weirdest thing, because I don't know. Can you imagine if you go to like a restaurant and you hate it? You just fucking hated the experience. And then they open another one close by, and you're like, "Oh, let me go check it out again, so I can shit on it again." That's what I picture.
That's on you.
That's what I picture anytime some of these people that I constantly see shitting on the Zack Snyder movies, talking about the new one, or like hoping that the new one fails, and I'm like, I don't know. Okay, I don't have enough time for that.
You do have to acknowledge though that as movie critics, they are trying to force viewers to go to what they feel is positive, good cinema. And if you look at like Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel, that's kind of what they did. They fucking hated horror movies. They would shit on them constantly and find no redeeming value. But I fucking love them. I mean, I value their opinion, but I mean, Roger Ebert gives a lot of horror movies. I think he gives 4 horror movies 0 stars because he felt they were so unredemptive of anything. They had nothing to offer. I'm gonna watch that movie because I'm excited for him to be that bothered by it.
And that, like I said, that's not the people I'm talking to. I know there's people that this is their livelihood. They have to go watch. Sometimes even being forced. I mean, nobody wants to do their job like when they're trying to have a good time. Right? Like that's why I don't review comics professionally because I would hate it, and there's also not a lot of money in it. But like, yeah, imagine being forced by your job to go sit in a room full of all these people. Although I feel like some of their screenings for the press were probably a little bit nicer. I saw a bunch of footage from the review, like from the premieres at the, Zack Snyder was at LA theater last night or something. So I think that would be fun. Here, good comment from Leonard Kim. It's always mind-boggling when people say they aren't interested in something, then proceed to watch it and destroy it. Just shut the fuck up. Don't watch it. No one is forcing anyone to watch anything. Right. I imagine, like, are these people, like, getting Clockwork Oranged into, like, the New York... if that was my experience, I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much either. Like, you guys know, I don't like Wes Anderson. So I don't, like...
Right.
I don't go to watch, like, I'm not sitting there waiting for the next Wes Anderson film just so I can take a shit on it afterwards.
Right.
Oh, there he goes again. There he goes again with all his colors and his magical palette.
Oh, now I want you to review Asteroid City, please.
Because that's a totally fair point. If it's not your jam and you know it's not your jam, then don't watch it, right? So, for instance, I love the filmmaker Hal Hartley. My wife hates him, hates his movies, does not care for them at all. I'm not going to make her sit there and watch his stuff if she's not going to like, even though I love it, right? Like, it's not her thing. And that's fine, right? Yeah. But to experience it once or twice and realize I don't care for this and then never watch work by that person again, that's totally okay. But like Leonard Kim said, and like you're saying, Danny, don't hate watch something just so you can shit on it if you know you're not going to like it.
But I watched The Bodies because it pulled me in enough and then tricked me with the bad ending.
Well, and see, until you had told me about that, I wanted to go watch Bodies because I was hoping that they would have changed what made the comic bad and redeem it. And now I know that's not the case. So now the question is, do I go watch Bodies knowing I'm going to be disappointed, or do I just not watch it, right? So
I would say there's some good performances, but it's really the writing that sucks because it ultimately has these moments where you're like, how did they come to this conclusion? Like, police work just kind of happens and it's like, oh, I've discovered this, but it was like, how did you get to this point?
But yeah, that's the Zack Snyder rant, I guess. You know what? Also, like, people just kind of keep talking about him. Like, there's something to the guy, right? I mean, whether you like him or love him or hate him, like, it's not like people are just kind of sitting there. Go find other creators and maybe raise them up instead, and maybe they'll make more movies, and maybe you'll find more stuff that you like from other creators instead of sitting there for 4 hours watching the Snyder Cut of something. Because that's
I'm
a long
not doing
time.
that.
All that being said, stay tuned later on this week. I'll do a review of RebelMoon Part 1, Child of Fire. And then in April, we'll do a review of Part 2. And if Netflix releases longer versions in black and white, I'll be watching them. But like, I don't talk about Sucker Punch because that's not, I don't like that film, and it's a Zack Snyder film, and I just don't like it.
I really dug that film until I watched it again with a different set of eyes and it was like, until
you put your new glasses on.
Is RebelMoon shot in 4:3?
It's shot in 2.5.
So you can watch it.
It's in the Quibi format. Netflix acquired Quibi technology, and it's just on the phone.
Makes total sense.
You can only watch it on an iPhone X.
He's gonna, I'm going to predict something now. Zack Snyder will be the first filmmaker to make a 4-hour movie in 10-second clips intended for TikTok. He's going to do it. It's going to be
imagine the fight sequence where it's just like a punch is thrown,
right.
or back. Oh, that would be so mind-numbing to watch a movie.
Cool. All right, we're gonna get into our main topic, and so for this one, I wanted to do. I was thinking like, well, first of all, I had a little rant about like people putting out best of lists like this early on in December, like at the beginning of December. Your Spotify told you you're wrapped at the beginning of December. I'm like, hold on a second, buddy. I know December like it's a write-off for almost anyone, but like the year ain't over. There's still a lot of stuff that we have that has yet to release for this year, and there's stuff that I've yet to watch or read or whatever. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about. So in the chat, if there's anything that you want to make sure you watch or read or experience media-wise before the end of the year, so we're calling these our 2023 Hail Marys. Hence the picture of Victor Stone from Justice League.
That's what that was. I was trying to fit. I was like, why is there football in the background?
Trying to get in there. Trying to get in there at the last minute. So let me kick it off with one pretty big thing. So before the end of the year, Marty Scorsese, cinema himself, has dropped a new movie this year called Killers of the Flower Moon. And I just haven't had the 3 hours to watch it, but it's definitely on my list.
It
very
looks
excited.
like a bummer. It looks like a major bummer.
For sure. But you know what? I'm in for a bummer every once in a while. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about a 3-hour bummer. I mean, I want to watch The Iron Claw, and I think we all know that's going to be a bummer.
Yeah.
Right? We all know about the Von Erichs. We're in Dallas. We all know.
We're in Dallas. We know. I'm very interested in the reconstruction of the Sportatorium too. I kind of want to see that. Like
Sportatorium.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
excited to see old Dallas.
Even just for the aspects of like seeing what that was kind of one of the things about watching Love and Death that I was like kind of seeing how they rebuilt or like that, you know, that area of the whatever. So yeah, Kills of the Flower Moon is one thing that I'm still very much looking forward to. I've already seen it on like a lot of people's like best of list, and it makes sense every time Martin Scorsese drops a film, except The Irishman. I don't think people were as excited about that one when it came out a few years ago.
Yeah,
that was Martin Scorsese's pandemic movie.
Yes,
but isn't that the same story that Ray Stevenson did in his Irishman movie?
Oh, I don't know. Is it about from the book?
I don't know if it's from the book, but it was about the Teamster guy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think maybe there. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of movies about a lot of those people that were involved with that. This was The Irishman was based on a book called We Paint Houses or something like that.
Is it about Danny Green?
Man, I don't remember the name of De Niro's character. Maybe so though. I mean, Jimmy Hoffa was a big part of it. So yeah, but this one I'm very excited for. Killers of the Flower Moon looks great. Now I know Clay, you got to step away in a second. So let me step away before you do that, and then you guys go on ahead. I'll be right back. It'll take me 2 minutes.
Okay.
All right. You go ahead, Clay.
It is not the same people. It looks like the Irishman that De Niro's in is. It does have some Hoffa references, which I kind of thought was the same of Kill the Irishman, but Kill the Irishman is specifically about Danny Green. And I thought it was in the 70s. I need to find the time period. But solid cast. Like, if you haven't seen Kill the Irishman with Ray Stevenson, Christopher Walken, Val Kilmer, Vincent D'Onofrio, Linda Cardinelli, Paul Sorvino. I mean, is there any reason not to see this movie?
Yeah.
It's on Roku for free right now, and it is awesome. I remember watching this going, why has no one seen this? Mobster Danny Green ignites a turf war in 1970s Cleveland that leads to the collapse of the mafia in several major U.S. cities. And The Irishman that is on Netflix is in the 1950s. Truck driver Frank Sheridan gets involved with Russell Buffalino and his Pennsylvania crime family as Sheridan climbs the ranks to become a top hitman and also goes to work for Jimmy Hoffa. So different flick altogether. I got to recommend the Ray Stevenson one. It's the one I've seen, and I think is fucking fantastic. Let's see here. Do we want to start talking a little bit? I got to step away here in a few minutes.
Yeah. You go ahead, Clay.
I have not seen the Marvels yet, and I really wish I could see that in theaters. I would say there is a pirated copy that's out there that I tried to watch, but it's using very anti-pirate work on it, so you can't see it real well. So I need to remind Danny when he's back that maybe he should get a different copy. A disturbance in the Force that you talked about, because I absolutely love the Star Wars Holiday Special and everything about it. So I just really am looking for more information about it. Asteroid City, Wes Anderson. I love Wes Anderson.
I do too. I need to see that as well, and it's streaming now.
Wes Anderson is my Zack Snyder. Yeah, I don't think I would see a movie of his that I didn't absolutely love. So, but again, it's on streaming, and a bunch of his like short films are on Netflix that I want to watch too with Benedict Cumberbatch. I just haven't gotten around to them. I mean, that's the main problem. And the last films are mainly because I haven't been able to get to the theater this year. And that's going to be Godzilla -1 because I haven't heard a bad thing about it.
Oh, that's great.
Raving about it makes me want to see even more in a theater. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I won't get out to see that. The Iron
I'm still
Claw
excited for that.
Oh, yeah, I am too. I mean, it looks totally fun. I mean, it's a team up of Aquaman and Ocean Master trying to, you've got the buddy hero genre, I guess, putting those two together and fighting. Yeah. And Black Manta is fucking one of the best DC villains on screen. He rocks it, man.
Yeah.
Quick question on that before you step away, for both of you guys. Will they kill the baby?
Wow, that would be a dark ending to the DC.
Because in the comics, they kill the baby. In the animated show, the baby lived, but he lost his arm.
I don't think they kill a baby. I mean, if you look at like The Walking Dead, and as dark as that was, they couldn't kill the baby like they did in the comics. So the baby stayed alive.
A grown little teenager by now in the continuity now. So, Josh, what do you think?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Is this Aquaman's kid?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha. I have no idea. I'm gonna say no, because that would be really, really dark. Yeah. So
let us know in the chat. Does the baby live or does the baby die?
Call 1-900.
We have to draw two endings now. Fuck.
I would hate to see the trolls that would call the 1-900 to kill a baby.
Oh God, yeah. Wow, yeah, that's awful.
Little do they know it's backwards. If you choose to kill the baby lives.
The films, like, I know, did Gran Turismo come out in theaters?
It's already on Netflix now, actually.
Oh well, fuck! I'm gonna go watch that because, like, I haven't had a chance to see Hopper in that, and I'm
this week we got Gran Turismo on Netflix. Barbie hit a Max yesterday, and
I love Barbie.
Barbie also has an ASL version. So
really?
There's a person like doing a sign language. There's somebody signing throughout the whole film, and like they do like with the music and stuff. Like it's really interesting. It's really interesting because obviously you have closed captioning, right, for people that are hearing impaired. But that doesn't always fully translate. I don't think. I think that and sign language is completely different. But I'm not an expert on the matter. I just thought that it was interesting that Max would put out a version of the film with an ASL interpreter on the screen. So it's so you can watch both versions on Max if you haven't seen Barbie now. So let's move on to some of your stuff, Josh.
Yes. So my list is pretty short, but it's because you guys had a bunch of stuff on there that I still need to see as well. I do still need to see Oppenheimer. I did not do Barbenheimer. I did Barbie, but I didn't do them back to back. I do have a new pairing I kind of want to promote. It's not Barbenheimer, it's Oppenzilla. I feel like watching Oppenheimer and then watching Godzilla -1 is a fantastic pairing. Same time period. One thing I didn't mention about Godzilla -1 that I really like is they still keep Americans doing nuclear testing as the catalyst, which I really like. You know, I like they didn't put that on Japan or anyone else. It really still truly is the fact that it's Americans at Bikini Atoll that causes all this to happen.
Quick tangent from that. I didn't know until recently that SpongeBob's Bikini Bottom was supposed to be that area of that's why in the background all the little flowers or whatever you see, and I don't know, maybe I got this from TikTok, so it may not be real, but like you see a lot of like clouds or flowers or whatever. That's all the residue from the testing and like pollution that's in the ocean because of the testing. So Bikini Bottom, yeah. I don't know how true this is. Like I said, I just saw somebody on TikTok. I was like, they were making a pretty fucking good argument about why.
That is a good argument. That's really good. I like that. Damn.
Real quick, Joey, Leave the World Behind. You know, I enjoyed most of the film. I don't know that it stuck the landing for me, but I still think it's a pretty interesting film to watch. This is from Sam Ishmael, who did Mr. Robot on Netflix, and I mean, it's got a really good cast like Julia Roberts, Mahershala Ali, Ethan Hawke, like, you know, pretty good actors, pretty interesting premise. We have a full review on the channel if you want to go check that out. But overall, I think the movie's fine. I think but it had some like really good hooks into me. So like that's why I kind of stuck through it. So cool. But were you done with your Godzilla Oppenheimer? I didn't mean to cut you off. You mentioned that testing and it came to mind.
No, that's fine. That's brilliant. I really want to go see Poor Things. Have you seen it?
No, but I'm still debating if I should watch it in the theater. I feel like that's one of those movies that can get so weird that maybe I'm not going to enjoy it at the theater.
Right.
Because yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, because like when you watch something at home, you can pause, you can take a little break, or you step away or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the theater, you kind of like you're in for it, right? Like you've committed. So I don't know.
And I find his films kind of hit or miss. I had a hard time getting through The Lobster. I loved The Favorite. And I feel like Poor Things is going to be more like The Favorite than The Lobster, but I am prepared to be wrong. But I just like the cast looks amazing. The funny bits that are in at least the trailer I saw with Emma Stone just look hilarious. I kind of want to see Mark Ruffalo in a non-Marvel movie role. I mean, I've seen him in other things, Zodiac and The Brothers Bloom, but
13 going on 30, of course.
I haven't seen that. But anyway, I'm just really hyped for Poor Things. And one thing I want to put on this list, because I'm desperate to see it, and it was apparently released a week and a half ago, but I can't find it playing anywhere in the area, is Lee with Kate Winslet. The biopic about the artist I wrote my thesis on, Lee Miller, is out. There's still not an official trailer. I've looked everywhere. The only information I've seen on it is promoted by Vogue because she worked for Vogue. So Vogue's really invested in this movie. But I like Angelica doesn't have it. Like I'm trying to look at like kind of all the places that would carry small release art film like that. So
yeah.
So that's another one. I'm probably just gonna have to wait till it's streaming or on DVD. And then finally, just the very last thing, and it's not really a movie or anything, but I want to play Baldur's Gate 3. I briefly had it in early access when Stadia was still a thing. I've been told the opening is very different now. Like even Larian Studios was like, if you played the early access, you've got to start from the beginning because it's different. They kind of like sneakily released it on Xbox. I was waiting for a big thing, and during the Game Awards, they just said, "Oh, it's on Xbox now," and I missed it. So like the next day, I'm just in the Xbox store, and there it is. I'm like, "When the fuck did this drop?" But hopefully before 2024 hits, I will have bought it and will be, you know, fantasy fighting / seducing bears. That's my plan. So.
Look, my brother, when he played it multiple times through different runs, like multiple characters. He was on it. Like, I can see why. I think it won Game of the Year, right? Was it Baldur's Gate that won Game of the Year?
Did it? I think so. Yeah. Okay.
I think so. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know much about it. I do like the concept of like this is because I don't think there's a multiplayer stuff yet. But if they do one, like that's kind of like it's kind of like running a D&D session. You're just doing it on a console or like whatever.
That's
so
what
that might be fun if they introduce a multiplayer aspect to it. Like I would get it. I would get the game just to like play with you guys.
Nice.
Right? Because it's like we've talked about playing D&D all the time, but it's harder to do remotely, even though we're all in the same city. Like it's still hard to get together.
Yeah.
But I do want to address Joey about talking about Leave the World Behind. Yeah, I think the story wasn't just satisfying enough to me. It kind of just felt like it ended and that's it. Like the movie kind of almost gave up trying to explain it got a little convoluted towards the end. And maybe it's supposed to be an ambiguous ending, so maybe that part of the resonance, like, you know, that it didn't fully click. But yeah, that's kind of it. I go a little bit more into detail in the review, so if you want to check that out. But I do, like I said, I do recommend it because it's a very well made movie as far as that, and I like the premise and I like the people working on it. So let me do a couple more things, and maybe I think Clay's almost ready to come back. So as far as comic books, because I did get caught up on my Moon Knight, there is still one hero that is a street level Marvel hero that I haven't finished, and I need to finish the Chip Zdarsky Daredevil run.
Me too.
I have about 6. Great. I have about 6 issues left. And also, along with that, I'm going to finish the Jason Aaron's Punisher run because they are a little bit commingled, kind of. So hopefully be in the next couple of weeks with some of this time off that I should have from the holidays. I'll be able to get caught up on that because I feel like that could end up on my list of best stuff if I do read it. That was kind of the reason I wanted to do this because I'm like, it's almost like let's put a list together of what we think is going to be the best stuff, or like let's look at other people's best stuff list and see what haven't I watched, what haven't I experienced. So, and then let me see another quick thing. Speaking of comic books, Josh, Avengers Inc. is on my list of this. Like, I want to get caught up before that. I think the last issue comes out, if it's going to end up in 5, it should be out until next year.
Yeah.
But I want to get caught up on that because it's a really cool premise. Al Ewing is a super talented writer. The art looks amazing. So like, I'm all on board. I just really felt like I was going to read better altogether, especially now that I know it's going to end.
Yeah.
But
I agree. Yeah, 4 and 5, which are not out yet, seem like they're going to be closely tied, and so it's not going to read as well month to month. So I'll probably save those 2 to read together.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about it once it's all done, since it looks like we're all kind of looking forward to reading that. Clay, I'm gonna throw it back to you. Did you go watch Gran Turismo while you were away?
I wish. It's just corralling old dogs is like corralling cats. You're just like, over here. Are we doing comics, TV? What are we talking?
Whatever. Just whatever you want to go through your list.
2 of the comics that came out this year that I really need to read. I mean, other than the Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil, which I think I'm probably going to try to collect in hardback. I'm hoping this is a year I can bounce back, get some work, and pay for some good hardback editions for some comics. Because in addition to that, I would like to get the hardback for Monica by Daniel Klaus, his latest book that came out this year.
Yeah.
I have missed me some Daniel Klaus and looking forward to what he's doing currently. Other than that, this year Daniel Warren Johnson also put out "Do a Powerbomb." It's kind of his love letter to wrestling, and so I definitely want to check that out because I feel like his art style is definitely for that kind of story. So him doing his own stuff seems like a perfect match. I played the first Spider-Man on PlayStation, and now the new one is out. I need to get that, so that's another thing I want to try to track down a copy of Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is only PlayStation 5 though, right?
At the moment, yeah, because they just released the Spider-Man remastered for PC. That's how I just started playing it. So
okay, yeah, so I'll have to upgrade or something. But I do have, when I bought the original Spider-Man, I bought the Spider-Man PlayStation, so it is
nice,
red and webbed and everything. So if I could find a Miles Morales one, that would be perfect.
Let's see.
So when the game came out, I pre-ordered the Adidas did a collaboration with Spider-Man and Insomniac to do some shoes, and I pre-ordered them, and then they canceled my order like a couple of weeks later. I guess maybe they sold out or they ran out or the shoes didn't come out. I don't know. I was looking through my email because at first it was just a delay, and then I was like, where are my shoes? I want my shoes for Christmas, and they never came out. And then I looked through my email, and they're like, oh, yeah, we had to cancel. Here's a 20%. I mean, obviously I got a refund, but like they were like, here's also a 20% coupon for the inconvenience. I was like, no, I want the fucking shoes. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer.
I hate to tell you this, Clay, but one does exist.
Oh, wait, did you cut out, Josh? I think. Did you hear that?
Yeah,
Clay?
you cut out. No, you cut out.
Oh, I did. Okay, hang on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. It's there's one on Newegg. It's $850. But it is a Spider-Man 2 exclusive.
Nice.
It's got like the Venom kind of like inky stuff, and then an exclusive controller. So
nice. I also want to play.
We're all just looking at it. I guess I should share it.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I also want to play Spider-Man. I'm waiting to see if they'll release like a little bundle for Christmas, like with all 3 games.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and the Spider-Man 2 game.
I definitely love the first game so much. Like, for me, like emotional investment, I would put The Walking Dead, Telltale's Clementine as like the top. It's the first Spider-Man book or first Spider-Man game. Second to that.
Yeah.
Have you read the comics for that? For the Walking Dead Clementine?
No, I haven't.
There's I saw them on Hoopla. So like I think there's 2 volumes now.
2 volumes.
Maybe
I saw that in the Dropbox we had like an issue 2, but no other issues.
Maybe that's the second volume. Maybe we got maybe the first volume came out before we were getting comps. Okay. Who I forget the creator is actually somebody that's pretty famous.
Oh.
Tilly Walden.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Tilly Walden book. So I want to address a question in the chat real quick. Hold on.
There's the variant. I've never had a Santa hat. I guess I need to get one.
Get one for next week.
All right. I like Clay's getting over his headphones.
How did I like Merry Little Batman? I really, really love Merry Little Batman. As far as like, it's an entertaining film. I like the way Owen Wilson voices Bruce Wayne.
Wow.
Yeah. The art style is not my favorite. Like the art style is not my favorite as far as like, they do a lot of really like, it almost like, I don't want to, kind of like Miyazaki where like all the old people, they look like extremely old. Like Alfred looks extremely old, but like, yeah, it's like these big square type of animation. But once I got used to it, I think it was fine. I love this version of Damian Wayne who like he just wants to be Batman. And it's a really nice holiday tale. It's almost as if they took they condensed like different holiday movies. Like the first part almost feels kind of like Home Alone-ish, but in the DC universe with Batman. And then the second one's more like The Grinch, but kind of like with the Joker and Batman. So like they took a little bits of tropes from all these other movies. So, Josh, letter kid with the chat. I've never had a Santa hat translation. A childhood. What's that?
Yes, that's true.
So highly recommend Merry Little Batman. We do have a full review on the channel. Go check that out if you need more information. So let's get back to our lists. What else is on my? Let me go. Let me see what else I have. So I have a movie that I want to watch. It's called Past Lives. Let me see if I can get a little bit more info on that. Here it is. It's a kind of a romantic movie, starring Greta Lee, and it's who's the director on this? I don't see the director's name. Yes. So yeah, I don't know. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. I've seen it on a lot of people's like list of best movies of 2023. Which brings me to the other one, The Anatomy of a Fall. I don't know if you guys have heard of that film.
Yeah.
These are all like very like smaller movies that I think just like maybe they're probably already kind of like in streaming, so I need to check those out before the end of the year. But in this one, in the role of a writer accused of murdering her husband, German actress Sandra Hüller gave a remarkable, tricky performance, a naked display of emotion in an instant which could vanish behind the veil of inscrutability. This is all from People magazine. Was the woman guilty or innocent? Who can say? So she's also in The Zone of Interest, which is coming out later on by 24. So those are two movies that I still want to get to.
That does remind me. I also really want to go see the new Jeffrey Wright film, American Fiction. It looks incredible, and I will watch anything Jeffrey Wright is in.
I almost went because it was that AMC is doing these like screen unseen movies on Mondays.
Oh,
where not every Monday, but like every other Monday, where it's like $5, or you can use your AMC or whatever membership, and it's a movie. They tell you the runtime and the rating, but you don't know what it is. It's a movie that's coming out like probably within the next month, right?
okay.
So the first movie was Next Goal Wins, which is the Taika Waititi movie. Then the next movie was American Fiction, and this past Monday it was The Boy in the Boat, that George Clooney movie about the what's that called? Rowing. What's the regatta? Oh, no, not regatta. Those are the
Oh,
boats.
yeah.
Forget
Like road team kind of thing, right?
Yeah. It has
boat stuff.
It was what the Winklevosses did in The Social Network. Like that was their sport.
They're the paddle boys on the rowboat.
Paddle boys. Yeah, paddle boys. That's what it's called. Actually, don't Google paddle boys. I'm sure.
Please Google paddle boys and get back to me.
Do not Google paddle boys. Dude,
Make
you know
sure
what? Get back.
off.
If you get back to Clay on Blue Sky. Because Blue Sky is still kind of like the Wild West for some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it just sometimes still kind of trickles in. So, and before I let Clay do one last thing to close out the show, my last thing I have is an FX show called A Murder at the End of the World. It's like a murder mystery, like I think it takes place in Alaska or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really cold. That looks really good. I just haven't had a chance to watch it because I'm watching all this Fargo stuff, eh?
Hey.
Okay then. So, Clay, what else is on your list?
You to watch, eh?
Don't you know? My TV list of stuff that I have missed this year is pretty long because I just don't subscribe to Apple. So, like Monarch, I really want to watch because it's a Matt Fraction Godzilla show, but Apple.
Dude, this week's episode, which was episode 6.
Yeah.
Wow, it was so good. Okay.
I didn't know Matt Fraction was involved in that. That's interesting.
Yeah, he's like executive producer. He's the
wow. All right, cool. Shit, I may have to go watch that.
Bass Reeves, Lawman, is a Paramount show that I want to see because Bass Reeves is the inspiration for the Lone Ranger. I'm a big fan. I didn't finish the last season of Barry, but I have Max, so it's like, you know, it's just a matter of time for some of these. And then it's like just binging it too. I think I just don't have the time to binge like I did before. And a lot of it I do with Shelby. So I'll go, hey, do you want to watch this? And she's like, no. But like when I go, hey, I watched this show on cults, and she was like, oh, I wanted to see that. And I was like, I wasn't specific on which cult.
Doesn't matter.
But I gotta say, man, like of the cult, the Twin Flame and that Mother God are two of the best documentaries I've seen this year, and they're just amazing. Jury Duty, I think that was a show that was on Apple.
No,
freebie.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Well, then I'll have to check it out. I think I watched the first episode and then kind of faded, and then just heard great things.
It gets better and better and better.
Okay.
And every episode.
Natasha Lyonne's crime series, Poker Face.
I need to watch that too. That's on Peacock.
Yeah, I need to finish that. I need to finish that as well. Yep.
And finally on Netflix, Scavenger's Reign. I've heard so many great things about this. The animation style looks amazing. I just want to dig into it. So Scavenger's Reign.
I think that one's on Max, ain't it?
Is it Max or?
I think so. Yeah,
okay.
I heard really good things about it.
Okay.
Netflix has the Blue Eye Samurai one that a lot of people are also kind of raving about.
Yeah.
But yeah, Scavenger's Reign is on Max.
Yeah, as far as like gaming this year, Warhammer really took over for me. Last year I really dabbled in Magic the Gathering, and it just almost as a new fan, they don't allow it.
Yeah, no, it is inscrutable at this point to try and get into Magic the Gathering. It's awful.
But Warhammer has so many things that you can kind of join and just get a part of it that I've enjoyed that more this year than anything, because Warhammer just seems to be more open to new people.
Yeah.
And I got a couple of Marvel books for the Marvel RPG. If anyone plays online role playing, I'm going to try to run a game on Demiplane. I hope. And we may test it on stream and see how it works, or just the fighting mechanics of it, I think would be fun. But yeah, that's pretty much all of my list.
Cool. Yeah, I've kind of gone through a lot of my stuff. There's a few series that I want to catch up on, but that's just because I want to read them. Like I want to catch up on Avengers, the regular Avengers title, just because I like Jed McKay and I like the stories that he's doing. I just sometimes don't have enough time. I want to catch up on the Wolverine series because Benjamin Percy did a really cool job with the crossover with Ghost Rider. I just didn't keep up with it afterwards. And also the Wolverine and the Predator series that's going on, just because those are cool things. But I think for a lot of those things, I'll just catch up once the collection's done. And of course, my yearly catch up on Star Wars comics, where I just once the event is over, like earlier this year, I read all of the War of the Bounty Hunters stuff and Crimson Reign, which were the last two big events. Now the Dark Droid saga is going on right now. So once that's done, then I'll catch up. Yeah. So, but it's fun to kind of keep some of those things. I think so. Yeah, a lot of it is Ethan Sachs for sure. Who I need to reach back out to. He did tell us he would come on the show. So. That'd be cool.
Let me read some more of his stuff, because I love all his Old Man Quill, Logan, and stuff like that. But I want to definitely jump into his Star Wars work.
And catch up on A Hunted Girl, which was like we really enjoyed the first issue.
Yeah.
So a lot of really cool stuff. So from a lot of this, we'll definitely like I said, in January, we're probably gonna do like some of our favorite stuff of the past year's list. If you're watching this, if you're still watching this, which we had a few extra people watching thanks to my genius move of throwing us in the deep fire that is Twitter.
It worked out. It worked out.
I'll figure out Instagram by next week. But quick shout out to go ahead, Josh.
No, go ahead.
Quick shout out to Daniel Mitchell, who I know from the KLC server. Leonard Kim, Joey. Go follow Joey. Like really, if you want to get into crowdfunded comics and indie comics, like Joey's the person to know for that. And then also a few other people that kind of just joined and didn't. So Twitter tells me when people join, but I guess they don't have to really say anything. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, new audience. It will our screen will get smaller and smaller in your device. I'm gonna figure out how to get us on your Apple Watch. So, and then also don't forget, fill out the survey. I'll pin it on our Twitter. I'll pin it on our community page on YouTube. We're gonna send it out to our close friends and family because they don't have enough stuff to do. So we'll give them. It's only like 15 questions. You don't have to fill out all of them, but I would just love to see what people think. And then I'll leave it in the description of this video. And I think that's all. That's all the housekeeping. Did you guys have anything else before we get out of here? Okay. Well, come back probably next week. We'll do like an actual holiday episode. I don't know. So we'll just ask Jeff about the holiday films that he's seen, and then I'm sure Kyle will have also seen some of those. So if you guys watch any bad Hallmark, just watch one of those bad Hallmark movies by next week, and we'll talk about it. We'll each talk about one of them.
Please remember, watch a Hallmark movie.
Hawkeye is the Christmas show.
Yes,
there you go.
That is a good.
You know what? Watch a Doctor Who special. I think those are holiday related too, right? Some of those.
Yes, but I can't watch the holiday special until I watch the 3 specials with David Tennant leading up to the holiday special.
What a bummer. It's almost as sad as this.
Walker told me I had AIDS.
Oh.
It just gets me every time.
I love it.
Oh, we have a new thing. I hadn't even seen this one.
Well, you kept saying that so much, I just thought, well, we need a visual representation of it.
And then
I redid some intros and stuff too in there. So
yeah, we'll start playing those along the way too. But let me share one more because I think this one's maybe Clay's masterpiece. I don't know. A very earnest question for Mr. David Saslov. Who hurt you? That's really good. That's really good. I like it. I like it a lot. Cool. All right. Well, let's get the hell out of here. Go watch your favorite episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine to celebrate the life of Andrew Braugher and Andre Braugher. And there's the outro. Okay. Bye, everyone.
The most important thing in life will always be the people in this room. Right here. Right now. Salute me, familia. Salute.
Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Twitter loves you.
Oh, yeah. Clay?
Hail, Bebo.
Josh?
Simon Center, get the fuck out.